Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX this morning? So we're still using the Bill Williams theory, but again, levels are still in from yesterday. So you can see yesterday's video, we had all these messy levels that we're looking at, and we are bouncing off this level as expected. So if you look, we gapped up pretty much, and we've broken above. So it's kind of a piercing pattern to the upside. Today is Thanksgiving in the US. So we may see some independent action from the DAX, but I'm still not really convinced that we have a bottom. Okay, so this may be a double bottom that's brewing, but again, if we're looking at a double bottom on the daily, confirmation is really only going to be a break above the neckline, which is 11,685. Okay, so and you can see the oscillator here has given us a double bottom as well, which is diversions from here to here, which is turning diversions. In other words, we expect a rally. So let's just get down to 4 hours to see if there's anything different there. Okay, nothing really different, except for the fact that we broke past this first level that I had in, and we pretty much went on to hit that level, and then I'm just going to use some of these bottom lines here. So this was the first swing low, there's the next inside tail, and we kind of tagged it and then finished with an inside bar. Now if you look at the 4 hour here, you can see diversion. So there's a high and a higher high, where there you have a high and a lower high. So this divergence here is continuation, so you're expecting a continuation back to the downside. Okay, so I just want to get rid of all the noise, and let's just look at this logically at the moment. We want the fib. So this here was the first swing low. So there is my first swing low, and you can see 61.8, tagged 61.8, and now we have an inside bar. Okay, so a lot of people would be playing this as follows. A break below this level here would trigger a short, and stop would be here. Other people would have had an entry right here, the 61.8 with a stop level above this swing high here. Okay, so for me right now, I think the trick is to just get to a lower time frame and take it from there. Okay, so now looking at the lower time frame, you can see we had this gap up, we broke up, we came back, and we found support on the inside tail. There's our inside tail there. So we broke above it, came back to it, found support. So this was a long entry. Now, more than likely you could keep this as a long entry right now, because we have the alligator crossed over as well. If we just break down to 30 minutes, you'll see a very similar scenario. Gap up. Okay, I want to go long again. I'm looking for support at a level. There's my level. I get support. Alligator is pointing to the upside. Trade to the so that's a long with a very close stop over here. So pretty much what I'm saying is you would have sort of picked a break above the bar. So you could have taken anything that you wanted to do, but to me it would have been kind of like that. You could have had a stop there. It's a 50, 60 point stop loss, or 120 point stop loss below this swing low here, and aiming for a level. Okay, so, and I'm just going to go a little bit further down. You can see gap up, moving sideways, comes back down, and you've got fractals here on the lower levels. So you've got a fractal to the downside here, and you've got a fractal to the upside. So this is where your Bill Williams fractal theory comes into play. So basically what happens is you pick a shorter time frame, like a 12 or 15 or a 10-minute time frame, and look at the fractal. So there's a fractal, there's a fractal, there's a fractal. So the idea would have been a break below this fractal would have been short, a break above this fractional would have been long. Okay, reason for it would be you're looking just at this red line, which is the teeth. So if you break a fractional below the red line, it is short. You break a fractional above the red line, it is long. Okay, so you can see here, the break of the fractional here, which would have been above the red line, was long. You had this gap, and then your stop is supposed to be below the previous fractional. Okay, but what happens with a gap up, you often look for the next lot of fractionals. So here, your trade would have been up here, your stop would have been here, or your trade short would have been here, and your stop would have been up here. Okay, that's kind of the trade. Now, you see how we're starting to roll here. So again, the same principle applies. There's my upper fractional, and there is my lower fractional. Okay, what I don't like doing is doing this in the first hour of trading, because that's pre-trading on the DAX. Okay, DAX only really opens an hour later, so I wait for that hour to trade. And if you can see what I mean, there was the first hour of trading. Okay, there's my second, and then we started falling off, form the base, indecision bar, and that would be my entry. Okay, you can apply the same theory on your hour as well for the fractionals. So you wait for a pullback. So in other words, what pullback am I waiting for? To come and test this fractional break here. I'm waiting for a pullback down to here, which is 11,183, and I take a long here with the stop here. Okay, so that's kind of my view for today. I think personally, I think we may just continue this trend up. Okay, so we may just continue this trend up for today and tomorrow, or alternatively just start going sideways. You are going to find quite a few levels that you need to worry about. So there's an inside tail. This tail here is very significant because there were big buyers that stepped in off here twice, there and there, and we then broke below it. So I would expect us to come back and test this level as well. Okay, so I think my advice today is watch that first hour of trading. Okay, now again, you know, if I just highlight this here. So there was my first hour of trading. We had a break to the upside, so I would have expected a long. I would have had a stop below here. It would have got triggered, okay, because we stepped below it. If I come to the 12 minute, you'll see what I mean. Okay, you can see I had a 12-minute close below the low. Okay, so a lot of retail traders trade this opening range breakout strategy, and everything would have been triggered here, and then you would have had the stops triggered. And then we broke up again, and then came and tested it, and then ran away. So I would still be looking at that first hour of trading, but just be very, very careful. I think rather look for levels and make sure that you've got the right levels. Okay, so in other words, there is a level. There's a double level here, so that's sort of the zone that you want to see. Forget this diagonal for now. You have got a crossover and you are pointing up on the hour, so trend could very well be changing for a short period of time. And you can see the 4 hour as well is also pointing up. Okay, so I would be looking for a pullback, see if we can get some support at a level. If we do get a support, in other words, a bar like this, or a pin bar or something like that, that would be my signal to trade to the long side. Okay, but anyway, either way, just be very careful and keep those stops pretty tight. So yeah, that's me for today on the DAX. Could be more upside, and could be a bit of consolidation. I think the trick is to watch what happens with that first hour, the pre-hour of trading, and then that second hour of trading. Just watch what happens there, and that should give you an indication. I mean, you can see this was 2 green bars. We had a deep pullback, but we pulled back to a level and then rallied. Okay, and if I look at the hour This swing low here is still open, and there is another inside bar here. You can see there and there, which is open still as well. So I would pretty much expect us to come and tag this area, and if we do get through that, then we've got the 200 moving average to the upside. Okay, so my bias is slightly to the upside today, but we'll have to just be very careful because it could just turn into a range. Okay, so that's me for the Dax today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.